Bass fishing is one of those situations where an angler can ask themselves this question: am I going to cover a ton of water, or am I going to fish one spot? Now, if you've ever spent time tournament angling, you have asked yourself this very question many times. Are you going to camp on a spot, or are you going to cover a ton of water? When I think of fishing fast and just putting a trolling motor on high and shooting down the bank, it's hard not to think of Kevin Van Dam. He is a master at doing this. And if you're fishing a traditional type of a tournament where you just need 5 good bites, that's a great way to do it. You're looking for 5 aggressive fish. Now, if you're out there just fishing recreationally or for fun on the weekend, you may want more than 5 bites. So then you've got to ask yourself, am I going to play the percentages, or am I going to really camp on a spot that I feel is a good area? And that's what we're going to break down today. Now, it really comes down to this. Do you have the type of personality where you can sit and fish slowly in one particular area? Or are you an angler that needs to keep moving all the time? So the first thing is, if it's possible, go ahead and fish to your strengths. Now, we all know that if you're a power angler and you like to shoot down that bank, that there's days, man, I've just got to I got to fish slow and I have to be a finesse angler. And the opposite is true as well. If you're an angler that prefers to pick up that spinning rod and really fish a finesse technique, there are days where, boy, that power fishing and running down the bank can produce some excellent catches. So try to fish to your own personality traits or strengths if you can, but there are days that we have to kind of go against the grain and do the opposite of what we want to do. So let's first talk about fishing to cover water. Now, odds are if you're fishing this way, you're going to be fishing horizontally, making long casts, using baits that come across horizontal through the water column. Or if you're using soft plastics and fishing vertically, odds are you've got a pretty heavy weight on there, so you can get that lure to the bottom and keep moving quickly. When I want to cover water, I'm playing the percentages. If I'm catching a bass every 100 casts, I want to get those 100 casts in as quick as I can to, of course, a good-looking cover and, fish it as efficiently as I possibly can. But I want to get those casts in. So my weights are going to be a little bit heavier. Get that lure into the right part of the water column. I'm going to be making sure I've got a high-speed reel, so once the presentation is done, I can get that bait back in quickly and make my next cast. So if I'm trying to cover water, like if I got this shoreline right here, as you can see on the screen, I'm just going to shoot down it as fast as I can. And my goal is just to pick off those aggressive fish. Okay, now let's go with just the opposite of that. We're talking about fishing a spot. This is when we really slow down and pick apart an area. There are days where this is by far and away my preferred method. I mean, like many anglers, I like to rifle down that shoreline as well, but there are days when I know I'm in a high percentage spot, whether that's because of history or because I see lots of life and I just want to work an area over thoroughly. These are the types of days where you don't shoot by a school of fish and you can catch multiple fish in one spot. So I'm going to work it over as carefully as possible. So what type of lures are excellent for fishing a spot? Well, you want to choose something that you can really let soak if needed. Your jigs and your drop shots and your Ned rigs and your Nico rigs and your shaky heads. All of those types of things you can just leave really sit down there, and if you know the bass are there, you can just hold it and hold it and hold it, let that thing soak, and eventually, hopefully, their curiosity will get the best of them and they have to come take a look at it. Now, we mentioned that the title of this video, or the description of this video, was do we cover water or fish a spot? And really, the best bass anglers on the planet are excellent at combining these two. They will search and locate fish by covering water, but they're not going to let that little 10-inch or that 1-pounder throw them off. They know in the summertime that that fish can reveal a location, a group, a school of bass that might just be enough to win a tournament, or might just be enough to provide so many photo opportunities for your family in the boat that day. So the more that you can combine the two, the better off you're going to be as an angler. But the real key, that real secret, is understanding when to stop covering water and focus on that one spot. But when you can, make sure that you fish to your strengths. If you'd like to watch a video on how to narrow down high percentage areas, you can go ahead and check this one out right here. And hey, don't forget to encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.